Welcome back to Captain DLC Gaming. Happy Friday to you all. We are jumping into a Zendikar Rising Premier Draft here on a Friday evening. Draft table feeling a little bit slow, but not too bad here. So typically on Friday nights, about once or twice a month, I would play Friday Night Magic at my local LGS. And the Friday night event was always draft, something I enjoyed doing. I met with a bit of success back in the paper days before COVID, so in honor of that, we are going to jump into a draft here on this Friday evening. Hoping to improve my drafting skills in the arena, I have noticed that there's a couple of key synergies if you can put the pieces together. I've often been run over by mill if the opponent is able to get a crab. If they have two crabs, then pretty much, unless you have good removal right when you need it, you get completely run over with the mill deck. Rogues in general is good. And then the black-white life gain cleric deck also seems to be pretty busted. Alright, let's jump in here, see what we see. Maul of the Skyclaves. This is not a card I've played with. When it enters, attach to target creature, +2/+2, has flying and first strike. I like the idea of taking that rare. White is a good splash color. In this format, I believe, by no means an expert in the cards. Some of these I will be reading for the first time, so bear with me if you're an advanced drafter. And I think that's the best thing in this pack. Plunder's good if you're in blue. I don't want to commit to blue just yet. Black Bloom Rogue is good in the Rogue's deck if you can trigger that 8 or more cards in the graveyard. Negate, decent in blue if you're really looking for that control nature. Blood Beckoning, a good card for Resurgence if you are in black. Rabid Bite, good removal if you are in green. But I think here, the best card is the Maul of the Skyclaves. 2/2 flying and first strike, that's busted early game, it's really busted late game. And we see another white rare come through. That is interesting. When Legion Angel enters the battlefield, you may reveal a card you own named Legion Angel from outside the game and put it in your hand. Alright, so for our intents and purposes in draft, it is a 4-drop 4/3 flyer. So I can see why that potentially got passed. Cleric is decent. Some decent white cards here. Resolute Strike is a good trick. What is the best card in the pack? 4/3 flyer for 4. It is a big commitment into white, so that's a little interesting. The Familiar is really good for ramping in green or blue, but that puts us in tricolor. Not interested in defense. Let's take the flyer here. And maybe we play it, maybe we don't. Let's see where we end up here. So Blight Priest is really good in the white-black life gain, life drain deck. This is where your life drain comes from. Dauntless Utility. It's an Anthem, so that's fine. Eruption. Eruption's good. It's sorcery speed, 3 damage to any target. White, red. Well, I haven't seen much in red. This is where I struggle. None of these cards are really exciting. In red, Scavenge Blade is good. So I think maybe we take the removal here and consider red. Blight Priest might be better. We'll regret that if we see life gain, life drain cards. Okay, rewarded for being in red here. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, Rolling Vortex deals 1 damage to them. Whenever a player casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast that spell, deals 5 damage to that player. Your opponents can't gain life this turn. I'm not familiar with that. That does not seem great in draft. It's a clock. I do like Hellhound here. Regrowth is really good. Ramping in draft or anytime is good. Red seems to be a bit open. Seeing Regrowth here on pack or pick 4 means green might be open, or they're just taking higher priority green cards. This also fixes your mana if you go 3 color, although Hellhound is a very tempting pick. We'll take the regrowth for the flexibility. Warrior Anthem, that's a tempting pick here. We already have a warrior and removal. Maybe reconsider green here. See what else do we have. Familiar, I don't think is good enough that we want to jump right into that. And then green cards. Green is still iffy on the table. Rapid Bite, obviously good removal. Nectar Pot, good if you're in a solid green deck, just to lengthen the game a bit. Mind Drain, I really like in black, especially in draft. Just taking 2 cards out of your opponent's hand on turn 3 or turn 4 is good. Gloom Hunter is a key enabler for the Life Gain, Life Drain deck. We'll take the War Leader here and see where that takes us. Shelter is awesome. It's basically a counter spell, but also with more flexibility because you can use it in blocks or attacks. Most often in blocks. Seeing a lot of decent white here, so I think we're going to go ahead and take the Shelter. The Mace, if you're really into Menace, we see another Royal Eruption here, which is not a bad take. Might be the best choice here. Canopy Baloth is good. The landfall can get out of control. If you can't trigger landfall in the late game, the 3 toughness I found to be a little bit hard to deal with when I've played with this card. Supply is better than Utility Knife, but I think Royal Eruption's the pick here. Continuing to see cards in red. Tempest, I'm not too hot on. Blood Price, we're not in black. The Hellion's decent, especially if you're trying to re-trigger landfall if we pick up a Hellhound later. It's 5-drop 4/5 that does things. Barrage, I still think is a bit of a trap. It's very situational. Ambusher's good, but not great. I think we take the Hellion here. Molten Blast, 2 damage to target creature or planeswalker, or destroy target artifact. If that was enchantment or artifact, I would very much like that card better. Scorch Rider. Discard a card and draw 2 cards. I think we take Tormenting Voice here. I might be overrated in drawing cards because I've been playing a lot of blue lately, but drawing cards is something that is important to do in Magic and gives you an edge. So Resolute Strike versus Spare Supplies. We'll likely see more Spare Supplies. Let's take the trick. Scavenge Blade is looking pretty good here. Dauntless Unity. It's just till end of turn, and maybe I undervalue combat tricks that are just until end of turn. +1/+1 can be significant. We'll take the Blade. We'll definitely take the Hellhound. Here we'll take Might and Blood Price, and those are going to go to the sideboard. And we get paid off for being in white and red. I'm not familiar with this one. Whenever you attack a player with 1 or more equipped creatures, draw a card. Pay 1 white. You may unattach equipment from a creature you control. If you do, tap that creature and it gains indestructible until end of turn. Interesting. So you attack with an equipped creature. They try to kill it. You pay 1 white to remove the equipment and it's indestructible. But it's a 3-drop 3/3. That's pretty good. What are we giving up in the pack to choose that? Off the cuff. Falconer, if you're in blue, great pick. Electromancer, I think, is undervalued in a lot of games, but being able to ramp another Tormenting Voice. I do like Kite Sail a lot, but we already have the Maul. Maddening Cacophony. Oh man, if somebody's building a mill deck, that is a great pickup for them. And we will take the Geopede. I won't quite snap that off, but I really like this card. With the landfall, it's a 5/3 on Turn 4, another Blade. Again, red showing itself to be very open in this draft. Tempting to hate draft the Cacophony here, but I think we need to stick with our colors and take the GOP here. Another Hellhound. Ooh, tempting value draft here. These land cards are awesome. So we also have the Electromancer. We're not much into the party mechanic here, I don't believe. Yeah, we have 3 warriors, and yeah, that's it. So not a big pick for us. We could go Hellhound. They're really great in the early game, and then they taper off in the late game. And if you get one in a late draw, it's not what you want to see. The Spitfire's okay 4-drop through 4. We don't have a lot of 4-drops. So I think it's between the Hellhound and the Spitfire here. Do we get that aggressive? Let's take the Hellhound and try to go aggro here. Another Hellhound. Ooh, Brushfire Elemental. That is a great landfall card. We are not in green. We could move into green and try to play Roiling Regrowth. With an aggressive deck, I am a bit concerned about that. Getting mana screwed, but honestly, there's not a lot in this pack for us. Utility Knife is not something I'm really interested in. The Ox, not something I'm excited about. Disruption, if we were in blue, is a good card. Let's take Brushfire, just because it's that good, and we'll likely see more Hellhounds, and see if there's a good reason to move into green here. So 6-drop, 4/5 trample, also a land. That's good. I think the removal here is where we want to be, though. 4 damage to target creature. Let's take the removal here. And I just realized that I passed up the Jeroboa. That should have been a harder consideration for me. That card is really good. It pumps the team, if I remember correctly. So I should have probably spent an extra second evaluating that. Hopefully that was not a big mistake. Here we take the Scorch Rider because it's in our colors, and there's nothing in green. I'm not interested in going into black or blue at this point. Disenchant, decent. Another Scavenge Blade works really well with Akiri. So I think that's a decent pickup for us here. We already have a Hellion. We've been seeing a few of these. We might see more Hellions as well. We did pick up a Hellion, right? 5-drop? Yep. Yeah, let's go with the Blade. This could be a decent pickup. Cleric 3/2, indestructible till end of turn, allows us to get in aggressive damage potentially or force a trade. We already have Tormenting Voice, so I think we're going to go there. Things get a little less interesting here. So we could take another Tormenting Voice, or I do like Kite Sail. You Kite Sail a Scorch Rider or a Hellion, that can get really busted. We've been seeing a lot of Tormenting Voice. We probably will see, actually, we'll see more Kite Sail, I think. I think that's a bit of an underrated card. Okay, so another Warrior 3/3. We do have a little bit of other warriors. You get +1/+1. That makes it a 4/4 for 4. Yep, I think we'll pick up that. Banneret's just an early play, but it will be a 2/3 if we have War Leader out. 5. Everybody gets pumped. Yep, alright. Gotta pay more attention to the clock here. We'll take another Hellhound. That's 3. That's probably too much. Tormenting Voice will take a second of Ensure. Kind of a crap rare here. In a slower deck, this can do some work. It's a nice mana sink. Party mechanic on Assault makes me not like it as much. Somebody's picking up the Soaring Thought Thief, likely. We get another Resolute Strike, Pressure Point, Baloth, Fissure Wizard for another 2-drop that allows us to loot. Wow, this pack is a little underwhelming. Ambusher to get a big booty on ground, and then have a mana sink later. Oh, that feels like a rough pack one, pick one. Resolute Strike, let's take that. I think having the trick is going to be good. Okay, we have the Intimidator here. Let's earmark that for sure. Doubt we're going to find something better. Dauntless Unity, the Ox, another Ambusher, another Spitfire. Yes, we will definitely take the Intimidator. So red seems to be very much open. And we will take another War Leader here. We're not so worried about Landfall, Spitfire. No, no, no. Yep, that's a good pickup for us. And here's an interesting choice. Sizzling Barrage. Maybe I'm undervaluing this card. I've never actually played with it. Target creature that blocked at this turn. So you have to bait your opponent into a block? What's our party mechanic? Actually, let's make sure we reserve. I think we're going to go for another warrior here. So one cleric, a bunch of warriors. That's pretty much it for our party mechanic. So I think we take another warrior here. And we're just going warrior tribal at this point, I think. Okay. Yeah, that's a great pickup for us. We have 2 Scavenge Blades. And this has double strike, so if we can get a Scavenge Blade on it, and other equipped warriors, or we can let it sit. Ooh, Songmad Treachery. That's a good finisher. Yeah, but I think we're going to stick with the warrior mechanic here. This is a great pickup for us in the warrior theme. What do we... Ooh, Thundering Rebuke, though. 4 damage. Oh, that's tough. Maybe we'll see another champion. I really like this card, especially in a warrior deck. Is busted. It's 4/3 for 3, but I think we have to prioritize the removal here. Spellcraft? Again? Now I'm really wishing we would have taken the Jeroboa in that earlier pick. We already have 2 Tormenting Voice. Not really interested in that card. Yep, we'll take the top end removal. This goes well with our mechanic as well. I wouldn't mind picking up another Scavenge Blade at this point. Sneaking Guide. Not really where we want to be. Do we already have an Ambusher? Or have we passed on them every time? I think we've passed on them every time. Oops, I meant to click on the Ambusher. Well, we get another shot at it. 4 drops. How are we doing on 4 drops? We've got a lot of low drops. Maybe we want to prioritize the Spitfire here. It is a lizard, not a warrior. This is a warrior. Alright, we'll take the Ambusher. And now we'll take the Scorch Rider. 2 of those. We're not really interested in any of that. This cantrips, and we do have Hellhounds, so yeah. Alright. Interesting, interesting, interesting. Alright, so let's trim this down and try to put together a good Warriors deck. We're going to have to let go of the Elemental here, get green out of our deck. We just didn't see a really good reason to move into green, and we'll be much more efficient with 2 colors. So we have 2 Subtle Strikes, 3 Hellhounds, Fireblade Charger. Definitely get rid of the Guide. I like so many of these cards. This is a little situation where we dump that for now. Intimidator, definitely. Royal Eruption, for sure. Skyblade, or Scavenger Blade, sorry, we definitely need to keep. Ambusher, I like. It is a warrior, and it's pumpable. Definitely keep the Rebuke. 2 Tormenting Voices might be excessive in this deck, but being able to refill your hand, even just that little bit. Although, in our deck, to be honest, wanting landfall triggers for the Hellhound, it might be tough to actually discard cards. I don't think we're going to have a lot of dead cards. So our 1 Cleric, so 3-drop, 3/2, definitely playing the Skyclaves. Risen Riptide, of course, is going away. The Geopede is not a warrior, but a really good card. Voyager for sure, War Leader for sure. Outrider. It's less good, especially if we ditch the cleric, because then it only is +1/+1 until end of turn. So it's a 4-drop warrior, and it's 4/4 with a war leader in, so let's keep one of those. Our 1 flyer, definitely want to keep that. This is a warrior as well, so I like that. Hellion, 4/5/5. Maybe we cut Hellion here and rely on the riders. Not going to be doing a lot of blocking with the riders. It's nice to have that 5 toughness, but rely on our removal perhaps. That only gets us down to 47. Yikes. Yikes, yikes, yikes. Alright, so creature count 16. A little high on sorceries here. Let's go down a Hellhound. Just because they can be a dead card late game. And equipping the Charger is a much better play with the Blade. Really don't want to get rid of removal. Let's ditch the Tormenting Voice for now and come back to that. Also, Thundering Rebuke is our best removal. Maybe we go down a Spellcraft. That's tough. Do we go down removal? That's down to 42. We're getting closer to where we want to be. 4 instants, 3 sorceries, and 3 artifacts. We are still a little heavy on 2 drops, but I like our 2 drops. The Shelter? Do we cut that and just really focus on aggression? Ambusher's not aggressive. It's potentially a 2/4 though, and the pumpability of it really makes me like that card. We're not worried about the party mechanics, so maybe we go down the Cleric. $41, 17 cards, or 17 lands rather. Maybe this is where we want to stick. 41 out of 40 cards. Got a lot of warriors, 11 warriors, 14 creatures. I think this is how we're going to play it, at least in game 1, and then we make additional cuts from there, potentially. I hope we don't get stuck on not being able to cast Angel. But I think what we're doing here is we're just being aggressive. Hellhounds early is the hope. Charger also, hopefully getting into the Blade. Also Blade Master. With the Blade or any warrior with the enabled feature. Protection spell there. The Intimidator is good in the early game. Then just removal. The Ambusher. Maul. GOP'd. Yep, I like this. Alright, we will see you on the other side in the first game. We're going to try it out with 41 out of 40 cards in this aggressive deck. Welcome back as we go into game 1 of this draft. We've got a Boros Warriors aggressive deck. Hopefully we are able to use our 2 drops, because we have plenty of those, to get early value and a lot of damage in the early game. Definitely a deck that's not going to do quite as well in the late game. Only 2 mana. That's not exciting. Let's try it out. Let's hope the shuffler's kind to us here. And it is. We've got a decently low curve in this deck. Either comes out. And we'll play the Intimidator. Ooh, Intimidator gets taken out by Vanquish the Weak. That is unfortunate. So nothing good to play here. Is it worth taking out the healer? Let's be aggressive here. Respond in kind. That might be a little hasty, but we'll see. Another healer comes out. Alright. Ooh. No value Outrider. But it's a 3/3. Our opponent with 4 mana, not sure what to do here. Blight Priest would be a good play here. Roping out on turn 4. Okay. A little bit of patience as a Boros player today. Using a timeout. Alright. Well, happy Friday night to you all. Whether you're playing the Friday Night Magic Brawl event or indulging in a draft like we are today, we double dipped. We're doing both. I hope that you have good games and fun, and if you're able to go to your LGS to play on a Friday night for Friday Night Magic, I encourage you to do so and hope that you have fun there if that is the case. And opponent ropes out. It is now our turn. We'll play the War Leader here and go into attacks. The opponent scoops it up. Alright. Life gain, life drain. Anything that we feel like we need to change. I still like a early aggressive stance. Hopefully a better draw. We did take out the Tormenting Voices. I think we're still heavy on 2-drops. But I don't feel like putting in another Hellion. So I think we need to liberally use the Resolute Strikes. 14 creatures. Might be nice to increase our creature count with an aggressive deck like this. We are a little spell heavy and 2-drop heavy. That might, that hopefully helps us keep creatures off the board. Let's play it back, see what happens. Opponent's ready to go. Interesting. Okay. That's a first for me. I've never had an opponent concede so quickly. Really didn't like their opening hand or having maybe some technical difficulties. So we'll take our first win and move into our next game. Again, 2 mana, acceptable risk on the draw. We will keep this. Intimidator, Rebuke, hopefully into Voyager. Yeah. Banneret for our opponent. Just a 1-2 for now. Play out the Intimidator. If they have early removal, likely it'll draw that. Yeah, I'm not blocking that. See if they play a creature, which is likely with the attack there. Blight Priest, yep. That's a good card. So, interestingly enough, I would like to get the GOP down, but I fear the trade. It'll cost 1 to make it a coward. Let's be super aggressive. Just... I mean, is that a... That's a sorcery. +1/+1. Taking 4 on next turn doesn't feel great. We could have pumped up the Intimidator, but I think we're going to Rebuke the Priest. It's an early use of our Bastion removal card, but let's try being ultra aggressive and see what happens here. That's a card. To the Attended Healer. So whenever they gain life, they get to create some cats. No life link yet, although they can activate life links for 2 and a white, so 3 mana. I will accept a trade here, but we've got a trick up our sleeve. Let's see if they'll block. I doubt they will. And they don't. Let's punish them for it. Down to 12. And do we play the Voyager or the Geopede? I like the Voyager here. If we get a Scavenge Blade off the top of the deck, I'll be really happy. See what the opponent wants to do. Relic Vial. I'm not familiar with this. Sacrifice a creature, draw a card. You pay 2 and tap. As long as you control Cleric, Relic Vial has whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Okay, that makes more sense. That's more what they're after, is the static effect. And look at that, we ripped Scavenge Blade off the top. Yes, please. I think we're going to want to ride that value train. And let's go. Let's make this a coward. So if they're going to try to trade, they're going to have to use the healer. And I think here we hold up the 1 mana for the indestructibility effect. Otherwise we just pump this by 1, which doesn't do us a lot of good if they block. So this play gives us a bit of flexibility, which I like. And we'll go in with both of them. Big swing here. They sack the coward. Okay, they'll get a cat. Oh, then they're going to block with the cat. It's actually a really good play by the opponent. So we get to draw a card off of Voyager. See what their blocks go. Oh, they're going for the double block there. Interesting. Actually, that's a pretty good play by the opponent. And they will gain a life, will go down a life. So I did not see that line of play for the opponent, for sure. But it does take out the Voyager, which is going to be a problem for them as a value play for us each turn, being able to attack in with an equipped creature and drawing a card. So we see the Outrider. They're going to pump up the cat. The cat's going to come in. And they don't, because they know I can make the Outrider a coward, and that's not good for them. Let's see, 4-drop. GOP'd. Warrior, warrior. Doesn't have trample. Interesting. Yeah, I think... Do we make the Outrider the coward? That just makes our attack that much worse against the cat. Alright, they'll have to trade away the Outrider, which they will. That makes sense. Light Priest comes down, and a land. Okay. So we'll get a landfall trigger as well. Question is, do we equip for 3, leaving us 2? I think it's better to play the Outrider here. Pump up the GOP'd. Get in with the GOP'd here. That way, if the Blight Priest blocks, we just eat the Blight Priest. They're going to sack it. Now they're considering keeping it around. They'll go down to 3, and we'll drop the Hellhound. See if we can push through lethal next turn. Interesting. See what the opponent has up their sleeve here. Okay, nothing up their sleeve. Alright. We will take the win in game 1. Opponent knows what we're up to. We definitely had good draws in that game. Getting the Intimidator out early was key for us. Did we just play it back? I don't think that these cards necessarily improve our situation. Protector can be nice for those trade situations. We could ditch the Blade Master. But it's such a good enabler if we can get that down. I think we just play it back. It seems to be working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. 2 lands to start. Scavenge Blade. core Blade Master. Yeah. Akiri and Ward Leader. This is good for us. Blade Master's weak to removal. Does have double strike, so actually it's a good blocker against the Sellsword, so let's try that out. Maybe our opponent will miss that. I doubt it. Core Celebrant. Alright. That's a good card for them. Which can block the Blade Master even with the double strike, but I doubt that they want to lose the Core Celebrant. War Leader would be good here for the Blade. I think we can still swing in with the Blade Master. Yeah, then we don't die. This is the better play. So we'll play War Leader and attack in. And then likely we get through with 4, or they throw the Sellsword in front of it. Alright, we'll get 4 in here. We'll be taking 3 here because we're not going to let our Ward Leader go. Yep. No blocks. Healer comes back in. Healer's going to be a problem for us. A big problem. Ooh. And we draw into Maul of the Skyclaves. Do we want a 4/4 double striker and just go ham over top? That seems pretty good. Otherwise, we Scavenge Blade on the War Leader. Oh, actually, if we Skyclaves on the War Leader, that's even better. I think that's the play. Put this guy up in the sky. And... oh, shoot! What? Misclick! Oh, Arena! You're killing me! That was supposed to be an all attack. Okay, 2 healers is going to be a problem. That misplay is definitely going to haunt us. That is 10 damage we just missed out on in a turn. Yikes. Gotta be more accurate with my mouse. That was ridiculous. Not stoked about that. Alright, now we get our 10 damage in. We'd have the opponent down to 2. That is absolutely tilting. We Royal Eruption here. Let's take out a healer. And Ambusher, and then Blade next turn. Yep. I want to hold the shelter up. Okay, that's going to be problematic. I hope this doesn't lose us the game. Losing 10 damage on a turn is just absolutely brutal. So if we Scavenge Blade, that's 7, that's 14. That's pretty good. Yeah, let's try that. Let's just go ham. and they play the charger, then they can't attack. So they have to deal with the war leader here, otherwise it's game over. Well, I mean, they've got plenty of ways to gain life here. So if they cast a creature, 2 creatures, if they can double spell, then they're okay. Outrider, yep. They'll gain a life here. Up to 2, we'll go down to 13. And they're going to pump something up. They go up to 3. Alpha Strike here. What are we looking at? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Alright, so we gotta make some blocks. We're just outside of lethal here. It's unfortunate. These will trade. Is that enough? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do we want to take out for 2? Can they deal with this? Here's the game right here. And they don't have an out. And we take the game with the Voyager. Even with the misplay. Whew! Alright. That was one of the worst misclicks I have ever made. Hitting past the turn instead of the attack and then all attack. We will claim those prizes. And we will take a short break before we go into the next game. We'll see you here shortly. Welcome back as we go into game number 3 on this traditional draft, Zendikar Rising. We have 2 wins under our belt. The first win early concedes by the opponent, so we can't really count that to the credit of our deck. Second game, we were able to just get ultra aggressive against our opponent and get it done with this Boros Warriors deck. Let's see what we can do in game 3. We will take the play first as an aggressive deck. Ugh, not the opening hand we want to see. So we run a high risk of getting flooded out here, and our deck can definitely function off of just 4 mana with no more. We do have the Intimidator early. If it gets removed, then we're not doing much unless we draw into better cards. This is a tough one. I think we have to mulligan this away. Oh, come on! And even worse. Alright, fine. Fine. We will ditch a land here. Get the Blade Master out. Give it flying. Hope we draw into good resources here. We get our combat trick. That's decent. See if this survives a turn without removal. It is got 1 toughness. Channeler comes in. That is a super valuable card for the opponent. So let's go ahead and get aggressive here. And swing in for 6. See if that can do the job here. Still open to removal, and we don't have Resolute Strike up. Yep. That's what I was afraid of. Alright, let's get another flyer out. Let's get the angel down. See if that survives the turn. Wizard has flying, so it can block. Ooh, not good for us here. So Let's equip. Let's force the block here. Opponent's not going to take 12 damage here. Oh, and they do. Wow. Alright. So let's go ahead and get Hellhound out. Bubble Snare. Okay, that makes sense why the opponent made the play that they did. Yep. Yep. Quick and dirty damage race here. We can't give it haste. It's Coward, +1/+1, gains Trample. So we can equip the Hellhound, which makes it a flying 2/3. That's 4 damage. Keep the damage race going here. It's a weird play. If we had one more white, that would be nice because we could take the game with Subtle Strike. But let's just keep powering through with damage here. Chilling Grass, isn't that a little late? Oh, no. Okay. That nullifies the attack. Alright. Opponent has plenty of answers for our plays here. And they continue to try to race with us, which is interesting. I expect another trick. But hey, we gotta keep going for it. This is game. Does this go through? Wait, I want to see this other card. Return it to its owner's hand. Ooh, okay, fine. Let's play the Intimidator. Do we also play out the Hellhound? I think we do. Let's give ourselves some options. So either one, so it's 4 or 3 to equip. See what the opponent does here. So many answers coming out from the opponent. Yep, and continuing to be able to draw cards is not helping our situation. Wind Rider Wizard. Instant or sorcery? What do they have in here? Yeah, Royal Eruption. Oh, we can't double spell here. Thundering Rebuke is a good pickup. Do we set up for the next turn? Or do we try to force the block from the wizard? Okay, let's make the wizard a coward. See if this works. they have more tricks up their sleeve, we are toast. But we just keep trying to go for the win here. This will get it done if they can't bounce us, stop us, or play another trick. Once again, do we get through? And we do. Alright. That'll be game one. Opponent takes another look at cards. Has to be a 1-drop in blue to save them. I'm not sure what that could be. Oh, right, we don't have the double strike anymore. That's where I miscalculated the combat map. Okay. Opponent down to 3, so we still got to play this out. They still have to deal with the Intimidator here. Which they can... Let's see, 4, 5, 6. Okay, if they don't drop a land here, they can't get removal and use it in the same turn. See if they come up with an out. Okay, Risen Riptide, sure. Reading the wall of text. Yeah, I'm not worried about 2 damage coming in, making sure they didn't get any additional value off of that attack. Go for the same play once again. Wizard becomes a coward. Yep, they loot. Hexproof. Rebuke is a sorcery. Dagnabbit. We still have first strike, so we can at least take it out. I think we hold on to our land for next turn. Landfall. Do we go ahead and remove something? We get rid of the channeler, just in case. Then end the turn and see what happens here. Dicey. Opponent down to 2 cards here, but they've been able to rummage a lot. And with that, with being able to play a land here, they are going to be able to get removal back and try to use it on the Intimidator, if that's their play. Instant or sorcery from the graveyard. And they pick up into the Royal. Okay. That's actually pretty smart. Yup. We'll take the damage. See if we can use the Hellhound to finish this off. Oh, but it's not a warrior, so they can still block. Here we draw. Ah, there we go. So they're still going to be able to bounce the Intimidator. We should be able to power through with the Hellhound here, though. Yep. And this should be it for them. Alright. Whoo! Well done, opponent. So many cards that they're able to play to keep them from losing quickly. That was a good game, for sure. Let's see. Again, I don't know that we need to change up our deck much. Just powering through all of the bounce spells is going to be tough for us. They didn't represent any really terrible threats. The wizard definitely is something we want to remove early, but we have 4 pieces of removal to take care of that. We haven't been getting up to 5 mana yet. We could take out Spellcraft and just try to be that much quicker. We haven't seen it in our hand yet, but that could be a little bit of a dead card in our hand. I say we play right back. Let's see what happens in game 2. See what our opponent brings back to the table. As we move forward, trying to win the 3rd match, which would be epic for us. I have yet to go 3-0 in a traditional draft on Arena. Yikes. And again, we get the 4-land hand. We're going to go for it. I'm not going to mulligan into another 4-land hand like we did last time. That is just not something I'm interested in doing. Okay, we see removal. Let's go with the Intimidator. We see the bounce. Riptide. That's not good for us. We can force the block by using Royal Eruption. That feels hasty. Let's swing in, see if they block. If they do, we can probably just punish them with Subtle Strike, or Resolute Strike, sorry. Yeah, let's go for that. It'll be a matter of what our opponent is able to keep in hand. Yep, Bubble Snare, that's unfortunate. Yep, Chronicle comes out. Chronicler. Looking for a kicker card. So I do think that getting Riptide off the battlefield was key. Of course, they grab Royal Mage. Not great for us. We'll try playing Voyager here. So we can still activate the Intimidator's activated abilities. Royal Mage comes down, not kick. Alright. Posting up blockers. Sure. Let's get rid of the Chronicler. And we'll swing in. We'll trade 2 for 3 damage here. This is a bit of a tough matchup for us. The wizard comes in. Okay, that's a card. So how does it trigger flying? Instant or sorcery? Gains flying. Okay. Yeah, let's try to kill the wizard. Oops. Click too fast. Need to be careful with that. And once again, we will swing in. Alright, continuing to get damage through is good for us. Yep. Opponent continues to try to race. So many land. That's not good. All of our removal is sorcery speed. But they don't block. So we'll rebuke it. Master of the Winds. Okay, that's a card. Opponent refills their hand a bit here. They have their own Royal Eruption. Short. And hopefully we don't continue to flood. We need action. Blade. Not the action we want or need. Come on, deck. Not like this. We need to keep the pressure on. Yep. Royal Mage comes in. We'll be taking 4 over top here. 6 if they bring in the other Royal Mage, which is likely. Down to 10 for us, and we are getting behind as they pull removal out of their graveyard into the hand. And most of our cards are dead, if not all of our cards are dead to 3 damage. Shelter does not do us any good. Wow, alright, just dead cards in hand. Alright, this is where the opponent turns the corner. 8 damage coming our way, going down to 2. Nothing we can do about it. And we draw land. Alright, let's keep this up and go on to the next game. Yikes. Alright, we need to stick things to the battlefield. Shelter is really good against their bounce spells, so I really don't want to cut that. I still like Charger in the early game, though we haven't seen it. We have to remove the Riptide. Otherwise, we really have to rely on the Skyclaves. This is a tough matchup for us. I don't know what we do to improve the deck here against just all the bounce and control that our opponent has. I would like to add more creatures, but we don't have... We could put in Outrider, I guess, to try to apply more pressure. Let's drop a Scorch Rider, go down to 40. Hope for more efficiency here. Give it a go. Comes down to the final game. Pressure is on. Can we defeat this deck? We will play first. Try to be aggressive. Skyclaves, key card in our opening hand. Hellhound, turn 1 play. I will accept this. Also Charger, so we're going to be small coming out the gate. We'll get some early damage in here. Well, we'll play Charger. Okay, let's see if we can stick this guy Clave. Early damage, being aggressive. Come on now. Riptide. Sure. 4 damage. Landfall trigger. All attack. See if they block with the Riptide. Let's get rid of the Riptide. Play another Hellhound. Alright, pressure's on. See if we can keep it up here. That's a new one. Whenever you cast instant or sorcery, 1 damage to any target. We have the Intimidator, no land. Alright, let's pump up the Charger here. Opponent down to 6. Try to force through as much as we can. Are they going to be able to double spell? Not quite. Nothing for them to dig out with the Royal Mage. Okay. Dagnabbit. They're able to finish us off there. Man, the synergy of their deck, you gotta hand it to the opponent. They put together a great deck. But they can't stop this. Down to 1. 1 more mana, we could have Resolute Strike for the finishing blow here. Ultimately, if they don't cast a creature here, which they will, they don't cast a creature. What is our opponent up to here? We have no landfall. Well, Alpha Strike. I'm not worried about the crackback. See what they do. Flash, flying. Yep. Alright, I think... Do we go ahead and use the strike to get rid of the Chronicler? Then we still play GOP'd. Yep, I think that's the play here. GOP comes in. There's a case for the Intimidator because it can make something a coward. Opponent holding on once again. If we can just keep applying pressure here. Removal would be great off the top. Let's see, I think we've played 1. Yeah, we've played the Thundering Rebuke, unfortunately. That's the only thing that can take care of Master of the Winds here. But they're going to have to block. Yes, please. That gives the Outrider first strike. Dang it. Alright. No longer has first strike, and they can block. We'll play the Intimidator, pass the turn. Once again, Kudos to our opponent. They're playing their deck very well. And they just seem to always have the answers that they need. Royal Mage. Yep, Intimidator goes down. I'm probably being a little too aggressive. I should have probably held up the Intimidator and hoped for removal to get rid of land drop. Yikes. I can't get through with the Hellhound here. Alright, so they'll have to trade off the Winds or play a trick. And they'll play another Shell Shield. Get rid of the Hellhound. Which again, misplay by me. I should have played the Mountain just to protect the Hellhound. Oh, that's annoying. We need to come up with... Actually, the Charger would be nice here. Or not the Charger. Yeah, I think it's the Charger. Then we just have to kill the Charger and win. The opponent has a way to gain life. Okay, we take one. Scratchy draw card, that's great for our opponent. This is an exciting game of Magic. Kind of a classic matchup here. Alright, we'll take another one to the face. And two of the... And mana? Land? Really? Because that's what I need. Alright, we'll keep charging in. There's the block. Okay. Opponent has to have something to deal with the Outrider or Cast the Flyer here. They'll take us down to 5. Do we have it here? Let's find out. And we do! Wow! I'll try to give a good game to the opponent real quick. I don't think they're going to see that. Ghost is our opponent. Well played, Ghost. That was a tough matchup in round 3. And for the first time, we take the tournament 3-0, 800 gold and 20 gems. 550 XP. Yep, I will take that. Oh, that wasn't our game. I'm so excited. I don't even know what the prizes are. Just so many prizes. 300 or 3,000 gems is what we get. Plus 6 packs. Wow. All right. That is exciting on this Friday night. Thank you for sticking around if you are still here after all 3 rounds of games. Let's crack some packs. See what cool cards we get to open up today. Crawling Barrens. Eh. Two Crawling Barrens. Alright, that's kind of disappointing. I mean, it's not the worst card in the world, but not the rare I'm looking for. Okay, Legion Angel. We drafted one of those. That's not bad. We get an exciting Mythic. Moth Pit. Alright, sure. A gold card. I will take it. Swarm Shambler. Yeah, okay. I'm just focused on the rares here for sake of time here. It's a long video already. There we go. There's our mythic rare. Morog, Fury of Atum. Cool beans. Alright. Well, once again, thank you for sticking around if you're still here on the video. I wish you luck in your games. Tonight, if you're playing Friday Night Magic in any way, shape, or form, we will see you next time in the arena. Catch you on the flip side. Have a great weekend.